Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurmunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadhi Prachatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Bhagavatam overview session. So today we will be looking at chapter 19 of fourth canto. So if you can kindly raise your hands, then I can pick who are in a position to read today. Then I can pick accordingly. So we got two. Let's begin with Aravind Prabhu. Thank you so much, Aravind Prabhu. Let's see. So first 9 verses we will read. Let me just bring up the screen. Thank you. Okay. Gotcha.
Hare Krishna. King Prithu's 100 horse sacrifices. Text 1. The great sage Maitreya continued, My dear Vidura, King Prithu initiated the performance of 100 horse sacrifices at the spot where the river Saraswati flows towards the east. This piece of land is known as Brahmavarta, and it was controlled by Swayambhuva Manu. When the most powerful Indra, the king of heaven, saw this, he considered the fact that King Prithu was going to exceed him in fruitive activities. Thus, Indra could not tolerate the great sacrificial ceremonies performed by King Prithu. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu, is present in everyone's heart as Supersoul, and he is a proprietor of all planets and the enjoyer of all of the results of all sacrifices. He was personally present at the sacrifices made by King Prithu. When Lord Vishnu appeared in the sacrificial arena, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and all the chief predominating personalities of every planet, as well as their followers, came with him. When he appeared on the scene, the residents of Gandharva Loka, the great sages, and the residents of Apsara Loka all praised him. The Lord was accompanied by the residents of Siddha Loka and Vidyadhara Loka, all the descendants of Diti, and the demons and the Yakshas. He was also accompanied by his chief associates, headed by Sananda and Nanda, great devotees who were always engaged in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as well as the great sages named Kapila, Narada, and Dattatreya, and masters of mystic powers, headed by Sanaka Kumara, all attended this great sacrifice with Lord Vishnu. My dear Vidura, in that sacrifice the entire land came to be like the milk-producing Kamadhenu, and thus, by the performance of yajna, all daily necessities for life were supplied. The flowing rivers supplied all kinds of tastes, sweet, pungent, sour, etc., and very big trees supplied fruit and honey in abundance. The cows, having eaten sufficient green grass, supplied profuse quantities of milk, curd, clarified butter, and similar other necessities. King Prithu was presented with various gifts from the general populace and predominating deities of all planets. The oceans and seas were full of valuable jewels and pearls, and the hills were full of chemicals and fertilizers. 4 kinds of edible were produced profusely. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. So Hare Krishna, and thanks once again, everyone, for joining today's session. So this chapter is entitled King Prithu's 100th horse sacrifice. So in those days, kings, they used to perform these sacrifices where horse is kept and also fire sacrifices performed, but it is forbidden in Kali Yuga. Please remember this point. We don't have any qualified brahmanas to do these kind of sacrifices in the Kali Yuga. So it is forbidden to do any of these sacrifices that are mentioned in the scripture. However, we all know that the best sacrifice for this yuga is, this age is Sankirtana Yajna. Sankirtana Yajna, not our sacrifice or other sacrifice, but Sankirtana Yajna, simply congregational chanting. By doing congregational chanting, we achieve all the benedictions. So those days, yeah, it was customary to kings. Even our Yudhishthir Maharaj had performed this Ashwamedha Yajna, where horse is kept and the sacrifice is performed. So he had completed 99 horse sacrifices. Not a joke. Say if someone catches that horse, and a horse is left free, and if some part of the world or some king or other person catch hold of the horse, then the sacrifice will not be continued. The king has to defeat that person and bring back the horse, and then the sacrifice then can be continued. That is the system. So it shows the prowess of the king that way. Even Lord Rama had performed, this kind of sacrifice. If you remember, Lava and Kusha, the sons of Lord Ram, not knowing actually it was his father's horse sacrifice, they caught hold of the horse, if you remember the story. So yeah, this was conducted, but one person, everyone was happy. Everyone was happy, but except one person. That was King Indra. He could not tolerate these great sacrifices of Prithu. So thinking that King Prithu would excel him, this was his mood. So basically, Indra is known as Shatakratu. Shata means 100, Kratu means sacrifices. So he had performed 100 sacrifices. Also, it is said that there is a general statement that if one performs 100 sacrifices, one can occupy the throne of Indra. That is a statement also. So he felt insecure, and he became envious of King Prithu. So Prabhupada writes a very beautiful purport to this. I think let's read this little purport, which will actually purify all of us. So yes, Aravind Prabhu, if you can kindly read the purport to text 2. I will just bring it up. Thank you. Aravind Prabhu, are you there? Can't hear you. Are you muted? Maybe another person can read. Any other?
I'll read it.
Yeah, go ahead.
In the material world, everyone who comes to enjoy himself or lord it over material nature is envious of others. This envy is also found in the personality of King of Heaven, Indra. As evident from revealed scriptures, Indra was several times envious of many persons. He was especially envious of great fruitive activities and the execution of yoga practices or siddhis. Indeed, he could not tolerate them and he desired to break them up. He was envious due to fear that those who performed great sacrifices for the execution of mystic yoga might occupy his seat. Since no one in this material world can tolerate another's advancement, everyone in the material world is called Matsara, envious. Oh, Matsara means envious. Okay. In the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is therefore said that Srimad Bhagavatam is meant for those who are completely nirmatsara, non envious. In other words, one who is not free from the contamination of envy cannot advance in Krishna consciousness. In Krishna consciousness, however, if someone excels another person, the devotee who is excelled thinks how fortunate the other person is to be advancing in the devotional service. Such non envy is typical of Vaikuntha. However, when one is envious of his competitor, that is material. The demigods posted in the material world are not exempt from envy.
So thank you very much. It's a very beautiful purport. Prabhupada says that here in the material world, people are envious of others' progress. Whereas if one who is envious is not able to make advancement in Krishna consciousness. It is said the Bhagavatam is for Nirmatsaranam, for those who are non-envious. When we become non-envious, when we become humble, when we appreciate others who are progressing, then we are able to appreciate Srimad Bhagavatam as well. Devotee is completely, he is opposite to this. Like he never envy anyone, but devotees if appreciate another devotee's progress. That is Vaikuntha. Even like among animals, even the animals are non-envious. Even the plants, every living entity in Vaikuntha is non-envious. That is the nature. Here, however, King Indra, so he became envious of King Prithu because he was conducting 100th sacrifice, horse sacrifice. So Prabhupada is mentioning that no one is spared. Even the demigods will have some of these qualities in this material world. So it is such a great sacrifice. Even Lord Vishnu, great sacrifice. Lord Vishnu personally appeared in the sacrificial arena of King Prithu. So that's how excellent sacrifice it was. And not only he appeared, but all other. When Lord Vishnu appears, others will also present there. Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, 4 Kumaras, Gandharvas, Siddhas, other exalted beings like Kumaras. They all appeared there. So the point here that by pleasing Lord Vishnu, you please everyone. Because Lord Vishnu appeared, then all others are also present there. So when we worship Vishnu or Krishna, we are automatically respecting everyone. Please remember this point. yatha taror mula nishechanena truptyanti tatskandabujopashaka pranopaharashchayatendriyanam tataiva sarvaranamachyuteja. Simply by pouring water at the root, every part of the tree gets nourished. Similarly, by feeding the tummy, every part of the body gets nourished. In the same way, when we worship Lord Vishnu Krishna, when we please him, everyone else will be pleased. When we worship him, we worship everyone else. There is no need of separate endeavor to worship anyone. And so various exalted personalities offered gifts um, uh, in that sacrifice. Earth supplied all desired objects like the milk-producing Kamadhenu. Rivers supplied all kinds of tastes. Trees produced all types of honey and fruits. Cows supplied sufficient milk, yogurt, clarified butter, that's ghee, and other necessities. Oceans offered all types of jewels and pearls. Mountains offered 4 kinds of edibles. Planets and their lords offered various gifts. So they were very happy with King Prithu, and that's why they, they offered various kinds of gifts to King Prithu and his subjects, being pleased of is this wonderful sacrifice. Okay, so everyone is happy, but one person is not happy. We know that is Indra. Let's see what is he going to do now. So we'll do the next section. Could I kindly ask Anupama Radhika Mataji to read from 10 till 25? So let me bring up the screen.
Hare Krishna.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Right.
Thank you.
Slightly down, Prabhuji. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Prabhuji. Text 10. King Prithu was dependent on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is known as Adhokshaja. Because King Prithu performed so many sacrifices, he was superhumanly enhanced by the mercy of the Supreme Lord. King Prithu's opulence, however, could not be tolerated by the King of Heaven, Indra, who tried to impede the progress of his opulence. King Prithu Maharaj was performing the last horse sacrifice, Ashwamedha Yagna. King Indra, invisible to everyone, stole the horse intended for sacrifice. He did this because of his great envy of King Prithu. When King Indra was taking away the horse, he dressed himself to appear as a liberated person. Actually, this dress was a form of cheating, for it falsely created an impression of religion. When Indra went into outer space in this way, the great sage Atri saw him and understood the whole situation. When the son of King Prithu was informed by Atri of King Indra's trick, he immediately became very angry and followed Indra to kill him, calling, "Wait, wait." Text 14. King Indra was fraudulently dressed as a sannyasi, having knotted his hair on his head and smeared ashes all over his body. Upon seeing such dress, the son of the king Prithu considered Indra a religious man and pious sannyasi. Therefore, he did not release his arrows. When Atri Muni saw the son of King Prithu did not kill Indra but returned deceived by him, Atri Muni again instructed him to kill the heavenly king because he thought that Indra had become the lowliest of all demigods due to his impeding the execution of King Indra's sacrifice. Being thus informed, the grandson of King Vena immediately began to follow Indra, who was fleeing through the sky in great haste. He was very angry with him, and he chased him just as the king of the vultures chased Ravana. When Indra saw the son of King Prithu was chasing him, he immediately abandoned his false dress and left the horse. Indeed, he disappeared from that very spot, And the great hero, the son of Maharaj Prithu, returned the horse to his father's sacrificial arena. When the great sages observed the wonderful prowess of the son of King Prithu, they all agreed to give him the Vijitasva. My dear Vidura, Indra, being the king of heaven and very powerful, immediately brought a dense darkness upon the sacrificial arena. Covering the whole scene in this way, he again took away the horse, which was chained with golden shackles near the wooden instrument where the animals are sacrificed. The great sage Atri again pointed out to the son of King Prithu that Indra was fleeing through the sky. The great hero, the son of Prithu, chased him again. But when he saw that Indra was carrying in his hand a staff with a skull at the top and was again wearing the dress of a sannyasi, he still chose not to kill him. When the great sage Atri again gave direction, the son of King Prithu became very angry and placed an arrow on his bow. Upon seeing this, King Indra immediately abandoned the false dress of a sannyasi and giving up the horse, made himself invisible. Then the great hero, Vijitasva, the son of King Prithu, again took the horse and returned to his father's sacrificial arena. Since that time, certain men with a poor fund of knowledge have adopted a dress of false sannyasi. It was King Indra who introduced this. Whatever different forms Indra assumed as a mendicant because of his desire to seize the horse were symbols of his atheistic philosophy. Text 24 and 25. In this way, King Indra, in order to steal the horse from King Prithu's sacrifice, adopted several orders of sannyasa. Some sannyasis go naked and sometimes they wear red garments and pass under the name of Kapalika. They are simply symbolic representations of their sinful activities. These so-called sannyasis are very much appreciated by sinful men because they are all godless, atheists, and very expert in putting forward arguments and reasons to support their case. We must know, however, that they are only passing as adherents of religion and are not so in fact. Unfortunately, bewildered persons accept them as religious and being attracted to them, they spoil their life. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
A very important section. Please, so request, please listen very carefully. So many wonderful lessons can be learned from this section. While King Prithu was conducting our sacrifice, so now this is the 100th sacrifice. King Indra came in the dress of a sannyasi and he stole the horse. Atri Muni, who was the head priest, advised the son of King Prithu to go and actually get the horse back. So the main person who was conducting the sacrifice is not supposed to move from that place. You sit there, and other warriors, they can defeat the other person and bring the horse back. So this son of King Prithu, he went and he chased King Indra. So who disguised himself as a sannyasi, proper sannyasi dress. He came in the form of a sannyasi and brought the horse back. And again, they started the sacrifice. So second time again, King Indra, he came in another sannyasi form, another dress. And then he stole the horse again. So this time, Atri, the head priest, said to the son of King Prithu, just kill him. He's cheating. He disguised himself as a sannyasi, but he is stealing the horse. It's contradictory behavior. Just kill him. But the son of King Prithu, was very hesitant. He was releasing the arrows, but not killing it. Because, he felt that how can no one kill the sannyasi? Although he may not be sannyasi, but he appeared as a sannyasi. He was very, very hesitant. So then they brought the horse back, and then again the sacrifice has begun. And third time, Indra, this time he created a dense darkness over the sacrificial arena and disguised himself as a renounced person, and the stole horse again third time. So the behavior, here you can see attire and attitude. So he was wearing the attire of renunciant, but he was lacking the spirit of renunciation. So he had very much attached. He was very much attached to his position and name, fame, prestige. And to fulfill that desire, he was not, he didn't care what would happen if I cheat like this. He was ready to cheat people by putting the attire of a sannyasi. So we should become sannyasi by character, not by devote, not by attire. Similarly, devotees also, we can wear the dress of a devotee, but we should demonstrate the qualities of a devotee sincerely. We may not sometimes fulfill it, but we should sincerely try and demonstrate the qualities of a devotee, and where necessary, we should openly accept some of the things which we can't do. So in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Putana, the she demon, she came to kill Krishna. She applied poison on her breast, and she disguised herself as a beautiful woman. She appeared in the house of Nanda Maharaj. Everyone who saw her was amazed how beautiful she was looking. Mother Yashoda and Mother Rohini, they did not actually stop her to enter the house. They let her in because she was so captivating. But she dressed herself so nicely, but she had the evil behavior, intention of killing Krishna, intention of killing these newborn babies. And we have another example, so many examples in Krishna Leela. Vatsasura, there is a demon. He disguised himself as a calf, came there to kill Krishna. See, mother is, a woman or mother is respected. So she came like that, but she had ill intention. Similarly, calf is also need to be protected. But the behavior of Vatsasura was he came there to kill Krishna. Another one, Pralambasur. He appeared as a cowherd boy and tried to kill Balaram. And there is a demon called Arishtasur. He appeared as bull. Again, bull need to be protected, but he was a demon. So we have to be little careful. Here it is said that this Indra's false sannyasi attire has introduced some irreligious behavior in the society. People thought, oh, this is actually good. This looks good actually. So you can put a dress, nice sannyasi dress, sadhu or saintly, dress of a saintly person, and you can do any mischief. Nobody is going to question you. So he had introduced this system of irreligion. So that's why we have to be careful. Unfortunately, bewildered persons accept them as religious, and being attracted to them, they spoil their life. Prabhupada says this is mentioned in text 24 to 25. So we must know, we must be able to distinguish between these irreligious and religious sadhus. We have to be careful. There are many so-called saintly people. They trick, they cheat people. So this is coming from Indra, King Indra, wearing a dress of a sadhu and stealing the sacrificial horse. So he was the main person who had introduced this false religious system. So so it's our duty to be careful and identify these people and not to be cheated by them. So when we read and hear, so-called sentimental devotees, they get attracted to these people. Whereas those who are philosophically strong, they can see what is what. So we have to read Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita regularly, and that too in the association of in the association of devotees, and so we can actually understand what is what. So we have to be careful with this with these kind of personalities. You see all kinds of people. If you put some tilak, some kind of dress, people automatically respect. So we have to be extremely cautious of these kind of people. Okay. And if you read Srimad Bhagavatam, it tells actually it is not the attire, external appearance. It is the behavior. That's why we have to see the behavior of that person. It is very important. Arjuna asks, Sthita prajnasya ka bhashya samadhitasya keshava. So what are the symptoms of a saintly person who are equiposed? So Lord Krishna gives so many wonderful qualities of these saintly people in the second chapter. We have to study them and see if that person has some of these qualities. Okay, so let's move on to the next section. So from text Okay, so from text 26 till the end of the chapter. So I will give a chance to Atul Prabhu. Oh, sorry. Okay, I will give. Let's do Atul Prabhu. You can read 10 verses from text 26 onwards.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, sure. Can you share, Prabhu?
Yeah, I'm sharing.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Maharaj Prithu, who was celebrated as very powerful, immediately took up his bow and arrows and prepared to kill Indra himself because Indra had introduced such irregular sannyas orders. When the priest and all the others saw Maharaj Prithu very angry and prepared to kill Indra, they requested him, O great soul, do not kill him, for only sacrificial animals can be killed in a sacrifice. Such are the directions given by Shastra. Dear king, Indra's powers are already reduced due to his attempt to impede the execution of your sacrifice. We shall call him by Vedic mantras which were never before used, and certainly he will come. Thus, by the power of our mantra, we shall cast him into the fire because he is your enemy. My dear Vidura, after giving the king this advice, the priests who had been engaged in performing the sacrifice called for Indra, the king of heaven, in a mood of great anger. When they were just ready to put the oblation in the fire, Lord Brahma appeared on the scene and forbade them to start the sacrifice. Lord Brahma addressed them thus: My dear sacrificial performers, you cannot kill Indra, the king of heaven. It is not your duty. You should know that Indra is as good as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Indeed, he is one of the most powerful assistants of the personality of Godhead. You are trying to satisfy all the demigods by the performance of this yagna, but you should know that all these demigods are but parts and parcels of Indra, the king of heaven. How then can you kill him in this great sacrifice? In order to make trouble and impede the performance of King Prithu's great sacrifice, King Indra has adopted some means that in the future will destroy the clear path of religious life. I draw your attention to this fact. If you oppose him any further, he will further misuse his power and introduce many irreligious systems. Let there be only 99 sacrificial performances for Maharaj Prithu. Lord Brahma concluded. Lord Brahma then turned towards Maharaj Prithu and informed him that since he was thoroughly aware of the path of liberation, what was the use in performing more sacrifices? Lord Brahma continued, Let there be good fortune to both of you, for you and King Indra are both part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, you should not be angry with King Indra, who is non different from you. My dear king, do not be agitated and anxious because your sacrifices have not been properly executed due to providential impediments. Kindly take my words with great respect. We should always remember that if something happens by providential arrangement, we should not be very sorry. The more we try to rectify such reversals, the more we enter into the darkest region of materialistic thought. Lord Brahma continued, Stop the performance of these sacrifices, for they have induced Indra to introduce so many irreligious aspects. You should know very well that even amongst the demigods there are many unwanted desires. Just see how Indra, the king of heaven, was creating a disturbance in the midst of the sacrifice by stealing the sacrificial horse. These attractive sinful activities he has introduced will be carried out by the people in general.
Thank you, Prabhu.
O King
Yeah, thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Prema Bhakti, you can continue from 37 onwards. Prema Bhakti, are you there?
Yes, Prabhu. O King Prithu, son of Veena, you are the part and parcel expansion of Lord Vishnu. Due to the mischievous activities of King Veena, religious principles were almost lost. At that opportune moment, you descended as the incarnation of Lord Vishnu. Indeed, for the protection of religious principles, you have appeared from the body of King Vina. O protector of the people in general, please consider the purpose of your being incarnated by Lord Vishnu. The religious principles created by Indra are but mothers of so many unwanted religions. Please therefore stop these invitations immediately. The great sage Maitreya continued, when King Prithu was thus advised by the supreme teacher, Lord Brahma, he abandoned his eagerness to perform yagyas with great affection concluded a peace with King Indra. After this, Prithu Maharaj took his bath, which was customary taken after the performance of a yagya, and received the benediction and due blessings of the demigods, who were very pleased by his glorious activities. With great respect, the original King Prithu offered all kinds of rewards to the Brahmanas present at the sacrifice. Since all these Brahmanas were very much satisfied, they gave their heartfelt blessing to the king. All the great sages and Brahmanas said, Almighty King, you are your invitation, all classes of living entities have attended this assembly. They have come from Pritaloka and the heavenly planets, and great sages as well as common men have attended this meeting. Now all of them are very much satisfied by your dealings and your charity towards them.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu.
Krishna.
Thank you. Okay, so Ambada Prabhu, I'll see if I can ask you to read a purport. So just bear with me. So in this section, we see that because the son of King Prithu was hesitant to kill King Indra, who was repeatedly stealing the sacrificial horse, King Prithu himself decided to take up this task of punishing King Indra. He stood up. He took bow and arrow to do this job. However, the priests said to the king that, "Oh king, you are the person in charge of the conducting the sacrifice. You are not supposed to get up and fight. Don't worry, Prithu Maharaj. We chant some special mantras and we call for Indra to come and fall into this sacrifice, fire sacrifice. Don't worry, we can do that job." And saying that, they chanted the mantras and called for Indra. And they were about to offer oblations into the fire, saying Swaha. They were about to do it. They haven't done it. Immediately, Lord Brahma appeared there. They said, "Stop. You can't kill Indra. You are trying to please all the demigods by performing the sacrifice. And at the same time, you're trying to kill Indra, who is also a demigod, and many of the demigods are, close to King Indra. So I suggest, O King Prithu, you stop this 100th sacrifice. Let there be 99 sacrifice only for King. Please stop this 100th sacrifice. If you try to conduct this, again, King Indra will introduce so many irreligious systems. You see, even these demigods has these kinds of behavior. He had already introduced so many religious systems. So you actually appeared to protect the religion, dharma. So he is trying to introduce many religious systems, and that's why I request you to stop this horse 100th horse sacrifice. And King Prithu, he said, no problem, so be it. So be it. So if we compare the behavior of King Indra versus King Prithu, King Indra was stubborn, repeatedly coming and stealing the horse and disguised himself as a sannyasi, as a spiritual person, as a mendicant, stubborn. Whereas King Prithu was submissive. When Lord Brahma said, stop the 100th sacrifice, he just said, okay, no problem. And that way, he detached himself. How he detached himself? Usually, 100th, performing 100 sacrifices is considered to be a great achievement. But he decided to stop at 99, even though he could have completed 100th one easily. So that means he had detached that so-called name and fame. He was submissive and he was detached from the so-called name and fame. And in other words, in comparison, Indra was stubborn and he is very much attached to his position. King Prithu was detached from the name and fame, whereas King Indra was very much attached to this position. He was thinking that he was always insecure of his position. He was thinking that if King Prithu, completes his 100th sacrifice, he becomes as famous as me. I had completed 100 sacrifices. No one should be equal to me in performing sacrifices. I only should have that name. Only King Indra had completed 100 sacrifices, but no one else. So King Indra was envious of King Prithu's opulence, whereas King Prithu was non-envious. He just listened to Lord Brahma and, my Lord, let it be, no problem. Because you asked me to stop, I would stop. And so after that, he had taken a ritualistic bath. And then all the Brahmanas, they were very, very much pleased with King Prithu's behavior. So that's how, it is said, since all these Brahmanas were very much satisfied, they gave their heartfelt blessings to the king. So that is important point. That so receiving these heartfelt blessings from the Brahmanas. Let's see if we can read a purport, but it's a big one. Yeah. Okay, so we'll leave it there, and I just wanted to highlight one or two other points. So for us, we should not only, we should look at the character of a person, not just as not just see the external appearance. Just like Putana, she was externally appearing so attractive, but her had ill intent. She had ill intentions. So many people, they look at the external appearance and they get cheated. That's why in the sales system, I'm not telling that every salesperson is a cheater, but they have this policy that you should look good, you should appear good, you should be very smart. And we also look at their external appearance, their probably their other opulences, and we get cheated sometimes. But we should give more importance to the character of that person. Some may be senior, so what? If the character is not there, what can you do? The character is most important. All other external activities are not so important. That's one big lesson that we have to learn from this chapter, and not become envious of other people. If someone is progressing, no problem. I will always tell this one point, right? I will say this nicely. If a person is advancing, yeah, and if that person becomes puffed of his advancement, he falls down. That person falls down. Okay. And if you seeing the advancement of that person become envious, you fall down. You don't make progress. You hinder your own progress. Whereas if you just appreciate that person's advancement, even though I'm not advancing myself, but if I appreciate that person's advancement, I progress further. So this is the point we all should learn. We should never look at someone junior, senior, no problem. That's okay. By birth, someone is senior, someone is senior. Someone takes, yeah. So these are all externals. But the character we have to see. So if I become envious of that person, I fall down. But if I just appreciate, I make progress. I make progress in the devotion. And in Vaikunta, there is no envy among the trees also, among the birds also. It is said that there are so many wonderful flower-bearing plants, which had great fragrance, wonderful aroma. However, they are never envy of Tulasi. They always give more respect to Tulasi. Like that. So, and this is the behavior of, Prithu's behavior is very exemplary, and he was submissive and detached. Sometimes we don't get the name, let it be, but Lord sees the sincerity. Not that we should become that, that stamp on it. Okay, so in this chapter, King Prithu was performing 100th horse sacrifice, and in that horse sacrifice, Lord Vishnu personally appeared. Along Lord Vishnu, all other great people also present. Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, and other saintly people were also present. And it was very opulent. Everyone was happy except King Indra. He was envious of King Prithu. Later, King Indra disguised himself as a sannyasi, as a mendicant, as a person in renounced order, putting saffron robe and stole the sacrificial horse. Repeatedly, he did this. And every time when he was doing, King Prithu's son was chasing him and releasing arrows, but not killing him, because he was, he was in the dress of a sannyasi. But however, King Prithu decided to, take up this task himself, but he was, stopped by the Brahmanas. They said that we will chant some mantras and, make Indra fall into this fire. when they chanted and about to offer the oblations, Lord Brahma came and stopped. And he asked King Prithu to stop his 100th sacrifice and let there be 99 sacrifices for King Prithu only. So he happily took that advice and he obeyed Lord Brahma. Indra was stubborn, Prithu was submissive. Indra was attached to his position, and whereas King Prithu was detached. He was happy to remain that he had performed only 99 sacrifices. Also, for us, the take-home message is we have to be, we should not be cheated by the external appearance of people. We should look at the character as opposed to the external appearance. External appearance is okay, no problem. Different people look differently. But just because one is putting one particular type of dress or one is looking in one way, we should not be cheated by these external appearance. But the main thing is the character of person. That is the most important. We should analyze that and also take association accordingly. So it's exactly 8 o'clock. I'll stop there. Hare Krishna. If anybody has any comments, any realizations, any thoughts, questions, please do so.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Purna Mataji, Jai.
May I ask a question, Prabhuji?
Sure, I will try if I can answer.
So I know I can't wait, till the next part or next time we read, progress in the story. I wanted to know, was Lord Indra not, reprimanded? I mean, I understand King Prithu has exhibited exemplary character, but when Lord Brahma came, was Lord Indra not shown his position that what he is doing is incorrect? And whatever be the reason, he is hindering a sacrificial process.
Yeah. So actually, in the next chapter, we would see that Lord Vishnu comes and he was satisfied. He also brings Indra with him, and he was more pleased with I would say with King Prithu than with King Indra. But I'm not sure he was reprimanded or whether he got regretted. I'm not sure about that. You have to wait. I didn't see that aspect of King Indra at all in the next chapter. It was not mentioned that. But he's insecure. I mentioned this several times in other sessions also, because of his he's very much attached to his position. He feels very insecure. If someone is doing some austerity, then he will send one of the dancing girls from heaven to disturb that austerity of that person, or someone is doing sacrifices like this, and you would do that. That is like he feels insecure about his position.
Yes, thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Anything else from anyone? Okay, so thank you so much, everyone. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha krupa sindhubhyayevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Grandhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaura Premanandi. Hari Hari Bo. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.